What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Second City Sports Talk. I'm Keaton here with Papa Bear. The Cubs are 17-17. They have won 5 of their last 6 games, including a sweep over the Dodgers. There's been a lot of good, a lot of bad. This team's been very inconsistent. It feels like we're either getting blown out or blowing the opponent out.
Yeah, it's hard to know which team's coming.
It's hard to know which team's coming right now.
Yeah.
But it's been really up and down. Recently, things have been looking better, but there's been some positives and negatives.
So. Definitely. I mean, a team that's 500 and you just don't know what kind of team you're going to get. That's kind of a positive for us.
It's kind of like right now, we still, 34 games into the season, haven't found our identity.
Yeah. We may not.
So it's interesting. No one really knows. The door is kind of wide open right now as to what this team could be. It's loaded with talent, but, there's a lot of injuries and struggling players who you would expect to be doing better.
Yeah. And here we got the Indians coming up, one of the best teams, and
one of the best teams. That's debatable.
Maybe, yeah. But we got a 2-game series against them, and then we got some not so tough teams maybe after that. But this is the chance. We got to stay at 500 or above because the Cardinals are really killing it right now. So we've got to stay with them. So let's talk a little bit about some of the positives that have been going on this year.
Recently. In the last 2 weeks, Baez and Jock Peterson have been looking a lot better. Baez was really struggling with velocity early in the season, just swing and miss a lot, and he's been being a lot more disciplined at the plate and making contact in the zone. And Jock Peterson, it feels like he's finally finding his stride. He was 3 for 4, I think, in that loss to the Pirates yesterday. So things are looking good for those two.
Baez he's so good. I love Baez, and I know Keaton thinks I hate on him for his hitting, but I can tell you every time they're going to throw a low outside pitch that he's not going to be able to hit, and he's going to strike out every single time. He cannot lay off that. I don't know why. When he can lay off that.
I just said he's doing better.
Oh, that's right. He's positive. So other than that little negative that continues to haunt Javi Baez, yes, it's a good positive. I say I like Baez. I think he's playing well. He's a little injured right now, though, too, which we'll talk about injuries. But
Chris Bryant has just continued to be playing MVP form. He's batting .308 right now, 9 homers. I mean, he's tops in the league in a lot of stats right now. OPS. He's been great. One of the best third basemen so far to start the season.
Hope they don't trade him. That's kind of
you know what? Part of me thinks that if we're going to do a full renovation of the team, then Bryant does have to get traded. But at this point, I don't see why we would have to be so aggressive the trade deadline. I don't see it right now.
Not quite.
And then finally, our young pitchers have been performing and contributing massively right now. Alzolay,
yep.
Tomato.
Who knows, right?
Steele and Keegan Thompson.
Have
been great.
He had a start.
He was went head to head with Trevor Bauer, and
it was good.
Was toe for toe with him, and it was really great to see him come in. Maybe he can be fitting into the rotation at some point. So it's encouraging to see that a team that has reportedly struggled to bring in raise pitching talent has been.
Sometimes you can chalk that up to the guys just haven't seen him pitch that much because they're new. But let's hope you got to have hope that the farm system's bringing up some good guys.
Well, I think Alzolay right now is the most promising because he has played more in the league, and now it seems like he's getting better with every single start. So I'm excited with Alzolay.
So those are some good things. What about some of the not so good things right now?
Right now we have one of the weakest pitching staffs in the league, and it's kind of can all be chalked up to the inconsistencies. Hendricks, Trevor Williams, and Zach Davies. 3 pitchers who you didn't. You expected Hendricks to come in and play a lot better, and you hoped Davies would play better. You didn't really know what we were going to get with Williams, but they've all been really inconsistent.
Yeah, definitely. And, we've had a lot of injuries now too, right?
Yeah.
So that's another negative. Who's all injured right now? It's like a crazy list.
Hayward, Marisnick, Happ, Horner, and Arrieta all on the IL right now. Really unfortunate. There was that crazy game against the Reds where the collision between Happy and Horner.
I didn't even see that happen.
Yeah.
I saw last night though when in the game against Pittsburgh where Marisnik took a fall out in outfield and he hurt his. I think it's his hamstring.
Changed the game. If Marisnik catches that yesterday,
and
we go on to probably win that game. Because we hold him to run in that first inning.
Yeah,
so.
Hendricks just had some real bad luck yesterday. Yeah. I mean, he's not at his top form right now. We get that, but I think he's going to be there. I still feel like he's there. It's not like he's lost anything. I think he just had some bad luck.
I think
really needs to find
the problem for Hendricks all season has been that he's throughout his career he's always been a ground ball hitter, ground ball pitcher. And in the season, the players have been making a lot of hard contact against him, and that's been hurting him. They've been driving a lot of home runs against him. So he needs to get his stuff together. He had a promising start against Dodgers.
That's right.
Went 7 innings, 1 run.
Right.
He just needs to get back to that. So I think he'll turn it around.
Well, even with these injuries, we're winning some pretty close games.
7 out of our last 8 games have been decided by 1 run.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I think it shows the character. Even if the identity of this team hasn't fully come through, the character of this team is certainly starting to show that this team is the kind of team we're going to grit our teeth and grind it out. And, it's been the contributions of players like Matt Duffy. We need to talk about Matt Duffy.
Yeah, let's talk about Matt Duffy.
Matt Duffy has been so clutch.
Yeah.
He's batting .288, but he has been our best contact hitter.
Yeah.
He's been huge. I mean, we picked him up for $1 million off of a minor league deal.
Minor league deal, yeah.
And Matt Duffy's an interesting story because he had early success in his career. 2015, he had a breakout season. Second in the Rookie of the Year, counting to Chris Bryant.
Wow.
And then his career kind of took a nosedive from there. He had a little bit of resurgence in 2018.
Yeah.
But he's been bouncing around the league.
Maybe he's found himself in the Cubs. Maybe that's just the way
and Matt Duffy's been huge because right now the team is a lot of power. Hit a homer, strike out. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
and Matt Duffy is completely the opposite. He's the kind of guy, he's going to make contact every single time.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what this team needs right now.
Right. Speaking of character, like you said, they had those couple really close extra inning games.
Oh my God.
The one that I talk about first is that Rizzo one. That was crazy because that shows some character. Rizzo gets that sort of walk-off single and then he just runs right into the dugout. Some people aren't just tackling him on the field. There was so many smiles.
Those wins were so important. I mean, we won game 1 of the doubleheader.
Yeah.
And then we come in. This is against the Dodgers,
that was
World
crazy.
Series champions. And we come in there and we sweep the Dodgers. I thought going into that series, there's a chance we might be the ones getting swept. And
who would have known? Yeah.
And that Javi Baez home run bottom of the 8th inning to tie the game with 2 outs. I mean that was insane. 2 of the best games all season for the Cubs. And 2 games that, build confidence and I think show that this team has belief in themselves.
Yeah. Well, we got the Indians coming up, but then we got the lowly Tigers. Right?
So I think we need to. I think we need to take advantage of the Tigers. We need to sweep the Tigers. They've won 10 games this season. They've been pitiful. They've been pitiful for the last 3 seasons. We need to dominate the Tigers. If we don't, we're in trouble. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Amir Garrett suspension and what happened against the Cubs. A few weeks ago. It's kind of an old story at this point. We haven't made a video, but I think we got to talk about it.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. I didn't know much about this, and you were telling me that...
You didn't watch that game.
I didn't watch the game. I didn't know the backstory until kind of heard about this. I mean, so that's crazy.
Yeah, Amir Garrett, he's a fiery pitcher. He pitches with a lot of emotion, and he's really in your face. I mean, but he's also kind of a crazy. He charged a full dugout of Pirates, just started throwing haymakers into a pile of bodies. I mean, this guy is insane.
Like a death wish or something.
I know, and he's been really struggling this season.
Yeah, he's like horrible. You're right. I saw, and here he is pumping his chest. This
and he has some history. Of 2 years ago, he struck out Baez.
You're right.
And Rizzo came up and stood up for him after Amir Garrett started just pounding his chest and screaming at Baez. Right. I mean, he's really. It seems like he's trying to start something.
Well, so in this game, he struck out Rizzo, and he was like jawing at Rizzo. Rizzo was walking off the field, basically with kind of just looking back. He's not doing anything, and all of a sudden, here comes Baez rushing out, and I saw Moustakas come like just grab Baez and stop him from going out there. It was like one of those moments where it's like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah. It was one strikeout, and they were losing the game. Yeah, the Reds were losing the game, and he started freaking out, and they did lose the game. Well, you said he got suspended, but Baez didn't.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I wouldn't have suspended Baez either. I would have definitely suspended him, and he has some history with that.
The problem is, though, obviously Garrett started the whole conflict, but I think some people are saying right now that you got to punish both sides or punish neither, because both caused the issue here.
I guess. I don't know. He didn't jaw Rizzo.
Baez got fined, but that's much not that big compared to getting suspended for 7 games. It's an interesting situation.
Definitely interesting.
Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe I guess he's a bullpen guy, so the Cubs would never get a chance to hit him. But you don't want to do that anymore.
Well, what do you think? So the outlook for the rest of the season, it just feels like the identity's not there. We're a little bit Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know which team you're going to get. What do you think? Do you think we're going to be that? We're going to keep up there with the Cardinals, or are we going to just tank here? What do you really think about that?
I think.
Give me a prediction.
It's hard to say.
It's so hard to say
right
now.
Yeah, I really don't know. It depends on our pitching staff at this point.
Yeah. The Cubby and me wants us to do well, but it's hard to see them, doing. I mean, they're staying around the 500, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, all right. Well, that's our episode for this week. Hey, we're above 50 subscribers. Thanks for you all out there for telling your friends.
Thanks for all the views on the Justin Fields video. We really
and if you've held on this long, make sure you subscribe and like below, and tell all your friends to come and subscribe and like for us. Yeah. Comment below about what you think about the Cubs and maybe even about the Bears, and we'll come back with some more episodes in the coming weeks here. So,
all right, that's all for this one, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right,
thanks. Bye.